وأرحب بأخي ورفيقي الذي لم ألقاه إلا في هذه القاعة رغم أننا متهمان في قضية واحدة. مفترض أي اثنين متهمين يكونوا قابلوا بعض وقعدوا ونسقوا وحملوا ملفات وغسلوا أموال وصدروا آراء ودعوا إلى عصيان مدني إلى آخر هذه التهم الفضفاضة التي لا أساس لها. أخي إبراهيم الزيات لم ألقاه إلا في هذا اليوم. ألماني من أصل مصري، في العقد الرابع من عمره زار مصر طوال عمره ما لا يزيد عن 10 أشهر، متوسط زياراته لمصر يومين أو 3 أيام كل عام، في صلة بين منشأ أهله وأسرته. وهو أحد أبرز رموز العمل الإسلامي في أوروبا ورمز من رموز العمل في ألمانيا. لا أريد أن أتحدث عنه كثيرا، أشكره شكرا جزيلا على حضوره وتشريفه رغم حالته الصحية التي رأيتموه عليها وهو يدخل هذه القاعة على عكازين، لكننا هكذا عهدنا المناضلين أصحاب القضايا أصحاب الرأي الحر أن يدافعوا وأن يسعوا أيا كانت الظروف التي يعيشون فيها.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I prefer to speak in English to present my case or the issue that we are discussing today more precisely. There is no doubt that we have come today together to elaborate on the issue of human rights and political freedom in Egypt, which is one of the most important states and one of the role models for the Middle East, and especially also for the future of the Middle East. It is a key country in the Middle East, the leading country when it comes to population, when it comes to political influence, when it comes also to the creation of the new Middle East from the various powers who have interest in the change of the political landscape in the Middle East. Egypt is facing huge challenges. It is facing challenges, first of all, of education. It still has an illiteracy rate which is much more than 60%. It is facing a huge challenge of nutrition within the last months, within the last years. We can't believe, but Egypt have now, today, people who are starving for water, for food, who still live under unbelievable circumstances in some of the regions in the country. And above that, it is facing a huge challenge of democracy, or a lack of democracy, a lack of a political system who do not allow participation of the people in the political process. This is very strange to see a country which is facing all the challenges I have mentioned and which is wasting a good part of its resources. The most important resources for a country is the human capital. And normally a country which has this importance and which has this important role to play and which is facing these challenges I have mentioned should have a strong interest to include all the political powers and all the people to overcome these huge challenges they are facing and to develop a country to be a lighthouse of change, a lighthouse of political uprisal in a region where we are facing huge problems of human rights. So Egypt is not the only country in the region, but Egypt can play a very important role if it understands its role rightly and if it can be the country to lead the process of democratization in the Middle East. So it is strongly needed to see that Egypt needs all Egyptians and Egypt need all levels of the society to support the process of change it is facing. And so it is the responsibility of the government, the responsibility of the leaders in the country to see how they can bring change and betterment to the country and how they can ensure security in the country. Security can only be based on justice. So justice is a result of a common try to open up the society for all parts of it. I am deeply worried about the Western countries, especially Europe. Definitely there have been a strong decision of the European Parliament just some weeks ago blaming the Egyptian government for their human rights situation, and especially also for the oppression of political opposition in the country. But still, most of the Western countries, especially America, especially the key countries in Europe, are quite blind on the eye of human rights and political participation in Egypt. So my case, and I've just been introduced by Ahmed, who I, as he just mentioned, have never seen before. I have seen him here for the first time in my life. The same is for the other 39 accused persons whom I never met in my life. Only those who are outside Egypt, some of them I have met. But those who live in Egypt, and this is a majority, I think there are 33 or 34 of them, I have never ever speak a word with one of them. I have never seen them in my life. But I find myself to be taken to court, to be accused of money laundering and supporting terrorism in Egypt and supporting the radical and violent change of the political system in the country. This is a complete ridiculous case where we see that there is no sincerity on the side of the Egyptian government and on the side of the Egyptian leaders to really deal with the issue of human rights in a proper way. We are living now in the year 2008, and the time of oppression, of continuous oppression of political opposition should be something which belongs to the past. The world in the 21st century should be a world of inclusion, should be a world which allows all parts of the society to enrich and to support the change and the betterment of the situation in the various countries they're living in. And Egypt is one of the countries which needs to take this much, much stronger into consideration. I am half German and I am half Egyptian. So as it just has been presented, I have been to Egypt only a few times in my life for short periods visiting my family relatives. I live a very comfortable life because I am a German citizen as well. And I really I am proud of being a citizen of a country which do allow this freedom and this political participation. And at the same time, I feel very, very sorry for those who are under this tremendous pressure and who now are living their lives partly for years in prisons for nothing but for their strong readiness to stand up for their political views.